If you've ever built a Power BI dashboard, looked at it and thought, the data is right, but something still seems off, you're not imagining things. There is a specific set of design decisions that separate a report that looks polished and trustworthy from one that just looks like data on a screen. And most of them are not about color schemes or making things pretty. They are about how quickly a person can look at your dashboard and understand what is happening. In this video, I'm going to walk through 5 of those decisions that show you exactly what the problem looks like and fix each one live so you can see the difference. Stay for fix number 3 because that one change alone will make any report look more like something a senior analyst built. Hey, I'm Arlen, and welcome to Data with Arlen. I have a deliberately rough dashboard on the screen in a second that we can go through and fix. Let's get started.
Okay, I am sharing my screen now, and I have Power BI open with 6 months of regional sales data. As you can see here from this table, it's revenues, targets, prior years, numbers, and units sold across 4 regions. This is the before state. I built this the way a lot of first dashboards look. Everything is technically there, but nothing is working together. All right, now in this report view that we're in right now, you'll see that there's the raw table that's taking up most of this page, like half of the page, and a bar chart with rainbow colors, a single card, sum of revenue, with no context, is vague or missing titles, and visuals just are all cramped together with no breathing room. This is really ugly. Every one of these is fixable in about 1 minute, so let's go through them. Okay, problem number 1. There's no visual hierarchy. So right now, everything on this page is the same size. These main 2 visuals are the same size. We've got a table, a bar chart, we've got a card. They're all really just kind of competing for attention, and there's no coordination. Now, when everything is equally important, nothing is. The first thing everyone's eye should land on when they open a dashboard is the answer to the most important question. Now, on a sales dashboard, that is usually a number, a total revenue, whether you hit target or not, and how you are trending. So the first thing that we're going to do to start cleaning this up is we're going to delete and move this large table off of the main view. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this because this is messy and it doesn't really give us a lot of information that's easy to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this visual. So we've gotten that removed. And instead of that visual, and before we get to this, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and add some cards that we're going to go ahead and use for KPIs. So I'm going to go ahead and just add 3 cards here at the top that are going to be for KPIs. And so I've got these added. The first one is going to be for revenue. I'm going to go ahead and click revenue. And we're just going to go ahead and click that. We've got the revenue, got the total revenue, which we already have. I'm going to go ahead and move this because we're just starting from scratch. And then we're going to go ahead and move over the revenue versus the target measure. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You got to make sure that you select whatever you're going to add there. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and close this one out. We didn't want it to appear down there. All right. We've got the revenue versus the target minus 33K. And then we're going to drag over the last one we're going to select is going to be the year-over-year growth percent measure. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then we have 8.57% year-over-year growth. So right away, this is a lot cleaner, and it gives us an overall summary of what that table was actually saying. Now, we can make these larger if we want, or smaller. For now, I'm going to just move them up to the top. We're actually going to move these over a little bit as well. So right away, this looks a lot cleaner. Now, the next thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and resize the bar chart. So now that the page has a reading order, we've got the top 3 numbers that answer the main question below the chart that explains the why. That structure is not decoration. It's a communication design. Your manager's eye will always go to the top first, read the numbers in 2 seconds and already know whether to be concerned before they look at anything else. So for this bottom chart, before we start modifying, the problem with this is the problem number 2 that we're going to be talking about is color as decoration. So you see this bar chart, every region is a different bright color, not coordinated with anything. Power BI's default palette can sometimes pick different colors. And the problem is that the colors don't really mean anything. There's no message in north is blue and south is orange, or the north is pink really, and then south is brown actually. When color does not carry information, it just creates noise. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and just select this visual, and we wanna make every color maybe like a variation of the same. So one easy way to do it is if we go into the formatting, actually, rather than formatting, I'm going to go ahead and click over to, we've got that selected. And so there's a number of things that we can do. We can go to the view, and these are theme templates that we could use to try to override what's been done here. So right now, as you see, if we try to select some, it changes a few of them, but I think because of the changes that were already made, everything is still thrown off. This typically is a great way to kind of get a coordinated look of the color palette, but as you see, this is not really helping. Now, in our case, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go into the editing of this actual bar chart, and we're going to go into the visual section, and we're going to look at the columns, and we want to look at each individual column. So right now it says that they're all blue, but I think we've overridden this. So what we can do is reset to default. And let's see if that makes a change. And it actually doesn't, because I think we've overwritten all of them. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just make everyone blue, north, east, and south and west. We're just going to go ahead and select that. South and then west, we're going to make it blue. One thing that we can do that really can help out when you're creating these is it's definitely possible. Let's say we got these all selected now, and we want to go ahead and give all of them the same kind of theme color. So if you select all, it opens up the formatting options where we can do conditional formatting. So let's just say we wanted to do some type of gradient where the highest concentration of numbers, or the highest numbers, is a darker color, and then the lowest ones is a lighter one. Right now, we've got these a little bit off whack. We can say the highest value is this darkest blue. The lowest value, we can go to more colors. And right now, I'm just going to be eyeballing this, maybe a lower concentration right here. We've got that. And so as you see, it goes from this kind of significant blue to a lighter blue. And then we could base this on maybe just the region. We can base it on the region. So we can go that, and we don't necessarily need to add a color. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. This doesn't seem like that did anything. I think we need to go ahead and select it again. And we're going to go ahead and switch it to blue. When the lowest, the highest, lowest value actually will make it a lighter blue. Let's just switch this. So we're going to say the highest color is this dark blue. The lowest value is going to be a variation of this, which is going to be something more like this. All right. And we'll make it even maybe a little bit lighter, something like that. And we'll do it. Let's see. What field is this based on? The sum. Yeah, we can do it based on the sum. We'll keep it as that. And so as you see there, we have it. It goes from this darker to the lighter, all coordinated, all kind of a variation of this blue. Now I just did this quickly, but if you wanted to get more exact, you can do that. On here, you see we have a legend. You don't necessarily need to show the legend, so we're going to go ahead and flip that off. And I'm going to maximize this. So that's a great way to do it. Gradients are excellent when you're trying to display a darker color with a larger concentration or a higher number. And so that's definitely something that you want to keep in mind for future ones. Now, as you're moving forward in your career and your pursuit for a career in data analytics, remember I have made a data career guide that you can download by clicking the link in the description. So be sure to check that out, pick it up. It can definitely help you in your quest for getting a career in data analytics. Now we're going to go into problem 3, numbers with no reference point. So let's look at this total revenue card. I think we had the total revenue card before, but I went ahead and I deleted it. And then we had all of these other cards here. Usually when we're doing these KPIs, when somebody looks at a number, you want to draw attention to one of the most significant ones. And this one is sum of revenue. We want to change the labeling of it because that's really what this is all about. So we've got this selected and we've got to go ahead and got this visual selected, and we have it say sum of revenue. So if we flip this over to the title and the settings, there's a couple things that we can do. Right now we've got the value that's on and we have the label that's on, and all of that is on. We can decide if we want to turn that off or we can turn that on. And there's the value, there's the layout, and there's the padding. And so actually what we can do, the easiest way to really change this is change the value text here. So we can call this total revenue right here, and then that brings this into play. It's a lot more clear. We can make this larger if we want. And if that's the key thing here, we want this to really stand out. These are other subsequent cards and values here. So we can keep these as is. So as you see, just by looking at this is a lot cleaner. Now when somebody looks at this number, they know exactly what this is, and this is the focus. Now, problem 4, titles that describe what the chart is instead of what it means. So we have sales by region, revenue by month. Those are descriptions that they tell me what I'm looking at. I can already see that. But a good chart title tells me what to think about what I'm looking at. And so the things that we can do here is I'm going to go ahead and change this title here instead of sum of revenue by region. Yeah, okay, it tells me what I'm looking at, but we want it to be more clear. We want to basically speak to what it's actually saying. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to switch this to say it's a sum of revenue by region. So we've got it to say sum of revenue by region. We can say something like this. We could do, let's see, we've got the title, we've got it on, it says sum of revenue by region. I'm going to go ahead and have it say this. South region has missed target every month this year. So we're telling people what to do and what to expect and what is this actually saying. And that's really clear here. So this title speaks to what it actually is. And as you saw, it took a few seconds just to change that. You don't want to leave those default titles. And then lastly, we're going to go into problem 5, visuals crammed together with no consistent alignment. We saw that immediately before. Already this looks like 100% better. I'm going to go ahead and just resize this. We have got now a prominent chart. We've got 3 KPI visuals that are more lined up at the top. Perfectly look good here. And this is something that is now ready to present. So we no longer have the cram visuals. We don't have the awkward colors. We don't have the misaligned labels. All of that has been corrected. And so we're ready to go. So that's 5 fixes, 1 dashboard. We built really a visual hierarchy. The most important numbers are at the top. The supporting detail is at the bottom below. And we made the colors work. Instead of having all of that rainbow bright color palette, we've got a consistent color with a gradient that makes it clear the largest concentration is focused on the higher number. So all of this is a huge improvement to where we started. Now, if you found this video useful, please hit subscribe. Remember, we are building the data crew from ground up. And if you are here, you're already a part of it. Every subscriber helps you to put this channel in front of more people who need it. It just takes a second. It costs you nothing. And remember, I will never waste your time. So next, you can check out the next video that's going to be coming up. Links on the screen. It's 5 Power BI features most analysts don't know about. Check it out. So now that your dashboards look the way that they should, these features will make them dramatically faster and viewable, more viewably pleasing to all of those stakeholders that you're sending it to. So be sure to check this video out. All of these features are going to be things that you may not have even thought about. All right, the link is on the screen right now. Click it, and I'll see you there.